Welcome to Debug Log, software engineering war stories, architecture decisions, and lessons learned the hard way. Let's dig in. The system, designed to automate inventory, completely failed to grasp a fundamental reality of any busy retail environment: milk spills.
Precisely. A jug of milk hits the floor, gets cleaned up, disposed of. To a human, that's gone. The AI, however, powered by computer vision and LiDAR, apparently just saw a full container one moment and then an empty space the next, without understanding the reason for the change. It didn't deduct the loss.
So it kept ordering more milk, assuming the original quantity was still there, just somewhere else, leading to what the report describes as significant overordering of perishable goods.
And that's just one example. This wasn't a minor glitch. It was a systemic misinterpretation of physical reality that led to an entire AI inventory management tool being scrapped across 1,300 Starbucks locations in North America.
It's a striking example of how a seemingly sophisticated solution employing advanced sensor technology like LiDAR can falter when confronted with the unpredictable, messy reality of a coffee shop. The promise was automation, efficiency, and reduced waste. The outcome was the opposite.
The stated goal was to optimize inventory management, reduce manual counting, and ensure stock levels were appropriate. The system essentially aimed to create a digital twin of the store's inventory, constantly updated by those LiDAR sensors. Think of LiDAR as essentially bouncing lasers off objects to create a detailed 3D map. Combined with computer vision, the idea was to identify items, track their movement, and deduce consumption.
And that works beautifully in a controlled warehouse environment, or perhaps a manufacturing line where items are uniform and movement is predictable. But a Starbucks isn't a warehouse. It's a dynamic ecosystem of human activity, varying product sizes, and unpredictable events.
Exactly. The challenge here is multifaceted. First, the sheer variety of items, from bags of coffee beans to individual pastries, different sizes of milk cartons, syrups, cups, lids, each with different shelf lives and consumption rates. Second, the dynamic nature of a service environment. Items aren't just scanned out at a register. They're consumed in drinks, sampled, occasionally dropped, expired, or even taken by staff.
This relates back to that spilled milk scenario. The AI could probably tell something was no longer there. It detected a spatial change. But without the context of why it was gone, it couldn't accurately update its internal ledger. It lacked the nuanced understanding a human barista inherently possesses.
That's the core of the problem: semantic understanding of the physical world. LiDAR and computer vision are excellent at detecting what is there and where it is, but inferring why an item is missing or how it was consumed is a much higher order problem. Was it sold? Was it used in a latte? Was it spilled or perhaps misplaced? The system couldn't differentiate.
So the digital twin that the AI was building inside its algorithms quickly diverged from the actual physical inventory. It was generating a phantom reality.
Essentially, yes. It was like having a perfectly detailed map of a city, but the map doesn't update when a building is demolished or a new road is built. The longer the system ran, the wider the gap between its perception and reality became. This led to a cascade of errors: over-ordering of items that were being consumed or lost in ways the AI didn't recognize, and potentially under-ordering items if the system miscounted available stock.
The report highlighted that baristas were spending significant time manually overriding the AI's ordering suggestions. This is the exact opposite of what automation is supposed to achieve. Instead of freeing up their time, it added a layer of complexity and frustration.
That's the automation paradox in full display. When the automated system isn't robust enough for the real world, the human in the loop becomes not a supervisor, but a full-time error corrector. The human effort shifts from efficient, proactive management to reactive, painstaking reconciliation. Baristas, whose primary job is customer service and drink preparation, were effectively becoming data sanitation specialists.
Which implies a significant operational cost, far beyond the initial investment in the AI system and sensors. There's the cost of wasted product from overordering, the cost of lost sales from underordering, and the indirect cost of reduced employee morale and productivity.
Absolutely. The cost of a failing AI system isn't just the R&D and deployment. It encompasses the opportunity cost of misallocated human labor, the financial losses from inventory imbalances, and the intangible damage to employee experience. One estimate from a different context suggested that the cost of bad data can be as high as 15 to 25% of a company's revenue. While we don't have specific figures for Starbucks, the implication here is that the data the AI was generating or failing to generate accurately was actively detrimental.
It also speaks to the danger of trusting an automated system too implicitly, especially in environments where the variables are high. It seems the assumption was that the sensors would provide perfect data, and therefore the AI's deductions would be flawless.
That assumption is a common trap. Sensor data, even from sophisticated systems like LiDAR, is never perfect in the sense of being a complete representation of reality. It's a specific slice of reality, interpreted by algorithms. The resolution, the angles, the interference, the environmental conditions all affect what the sensor sees. And then there's the interpretation layer. Can the computer vision accurately distinguish between a half-empty jug of oat milk and a full jug of almond milk if they're similarly shaped and partially obscured?
And in a fast-paced environment, those nuances are critical. A barista might glance at a shelf and instantly know, based on context and experience, not just what's there, but what's needed for the next hour, based on the queue forming at the counter. The AI lacks that intuitive, real-time contextual awareness.
That contextual awareness is what differentiates human intelligence from current AI capabilities in these dynamic environments. Humans can infer intent, anticipate demand fluctuations based on external factors like weather or local events, and immediately react to anomalies like a spill. The AI was a black box that processed raw sensor data and produced an order without that layer of adaptive reasoning.
So Starbucks is pausing this. They're not abandoning AI entirely, but they are clearly rethinking the implementation. What does this tell us about the broader application of AI in retail inventory?
It's a crucial learning moment, not just for Starbucks, but for any company looking to deploy similar technology. It underscores that complex, real-world problems require more than just powerful sensors and algorithms. They require a deep understanding of the problem domain itself. The issue wasn't that the AI was bad in a technical sense, but that it was applied to a problem whose complexity was underestimated, particularly the nuances of human interaction and environmental unpredictability.
It's almost as if the architects of the system optimized for a theoretically clean, data-driven world rather than the slightly chaotic reality of a working coffee shop.
Precisely. They built a solution for a pristine digital twin that didn't tolerate deviations in its physical counterpart. The real world, however, is full of deviations. This isn't just about Starbucks. It's a cautionary tale for any industry adopting AI for physical operations. Think about manufacturing, logistics, or even healthcare. The gap between the digital model and physical reality can have significant, costly consequences.
The company's statement indicated they remain bullish on the long-term potential of AI. That's the standard corporate line, but it suggests they still believe there's a path forward, just not this specific one.
It does. The potential benefits of automated inventory are enormous: reduced waste, optimized stock levels, fewer stockouts, and potentially significant cost savings. The challenge is in building systems that can handle the spilled milk moments gracefully. This could involve more sophisticated sensor fusion, better contextual models, or a more intelligent human-in-the-loop design, where the AI highlights anomalies for human review rather than making autonomous decisions.
Or even breaking the problem down into smaller, more manageable AI tasks rather than one monolithic system. Maybe AI is good for counting coffee bean bags in a back room, but not for understanding the fluid consumption of milk at the espresso bar.
That's a very practical approach. Decomposing the problem could lead to more robust solutions. Perhaps AI for predicting broad consumption trends based on external data, combined with simpler, more reliable sensors for basic stock checks. And crucially, an intuitive interface for staff to quickly and easily correct discrepancies without feeling like they're fighting the system. The goal should be to augment human capabilities, not replace them with a brittle automation.
So the lesson here isn't necessarily that AI is bad, but that the design and deployment of AI systems need to deeply account for the unpredictable nature of real-world physical environments and the indispensable role of human judgment.
Absolutely. The digital twin concept needs to acknowledge that the twin will always be an approximation, and its fidelity to the physical reality must be constantly validated and easily corrected by the people on the ground. The systems that succeed will be those that embrace, rather than try to eliminate, the messy realities of human operations. They need to be adaptable, not just accurate in a sterile environment.
It raises a fundamental question. When does the pursuit of automated perfection become counterproductive? And where are the practical limits of current AI in truly understanding and managing chaotic physical processes?
And perhaps, how do you design AI systems that fail gracefully, providing signals for intervention rather than silently accumulating errors until a full rollback is the only option?
That's a wrap on this debug log. Join us next time for more engineering war stories and hard-won lessons. If any of this hit close to home, subscribe and tell your team.
Ship it carefully.